Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. As always, today we've got an awesome chat with a familiar face who has been on the show before. We've got Tor Bair from the Secret Network, and we're talking about secret NFTs. If you watch Crypto Over Coffee, my weekly crypto news show, you've heard about secret NFTs quite a few times. Very passionate about this idea, so I figured we get the maximum amount of information possible straight from the source. So Tor, thanks for being here, man.
My pleasure. I always love talking to you, man.
Always. It's always a good time. So, straight from you to the audience, give me the pitch for secret NFTs. Like for someone who might not have seen my Crypto Over Coffee show, like what are secret NFTs and why do they matter?
I always like to break it down. Like there's two sides of the aisle that somebody probably falls on when they even hear the word NFT. Either they're
Hmm.
like super excited about it. It's the future of digital ownership. Everything is going to be an NFT. Your house will be an NFT. The Mona Lisa will be an NFT. Like you fall on that side. Or you're on the other side. This is the scammiest thing I've ever heard of. None of this NFT stuff makes sense. I don't see how these things have any value. It's a Ponzi waiting to collapse.
Hmm.
So secret NFTs are right in the middle of that aisle. Whether you think they're the future or whether you think they're a huge scam, when I explain how secret NFTs actually work, both kinds of people tell me that it makes complete sense and it changes the way that they see NFTs. So secret NFTs have two fundamental differences from any NFT you would get on a public by default network. Secret is a private by default network for smart contracts. So on secret NFTs, you get both the options of private or public ownership, and you get the option of public or private metadata. On ETH, Solana, whatever else, everything is public by default. So you can only have public ownership. You can only have public metadata. It means a lot of these use cases are super shallow. Private or public ownership means if you own an NFT, you don't have to reveal that to absolutely everybody. And when the NFT is something sensitive or it's just anything at all, like ownership doesn't work this way in the real world. You get to choose what you share and with whom. That's why we care so much about privacy, is because that's what gives choice and control back to owners, consumers, users, creators, etc. So that's already a huge piece of it. But the private metadata is actually even more interesting. And it allows Secret to just be an access control and privacy layer for NFTs that changes what they're capable of. So you can have an NFT with public metadata. Maybe it's a picture of your ape. Maybe it's a picture of your house, whatever it's going to be. But the private metadata is where the really good stuff is, because it's only viewable by the owner or somebody or an address that the owner gives permission to view. So we have public metadata that's public to everyone, private metadata that's only viewable by the owner, or you've got protected metadata that's viewable by the owner and whomever they designate. And you still have all the traditional NFT properties, like you can embed royalties, they're transferable, etc. But because those levels of access and privacy are fully programmable with secret NFTs, it's a completely expanded design space, like 100x the use cases for this stuff. And the best part for me personally is that you can really only build this stuff on secret. You can't just go and slap this onto a public by default blockchain later. It
Hmm.
really makes use of the privacy properties of secret in a way that I don't think we've seen any applications to date make full use of the privacy properties, but NFTs absolutely do.
Without a doubt. And if you think about the high profile nature of NFTs right now and collections that have amassed huge price floors, I feel like there are quite a few people who maybe don't want to share with the world necessarily that they have them,
Yeah,
and it kind of makes you a target for phishing and for even more advanced hacking
absolutely.
methodologies.
Yeah, I keep reading about it. Like
Yeah.
half of the board apes things that I see on Twitter. Yes, it's that the floor is now higher than punks, but also that somebody got scammed. Like, oh, I got
Right.
scammed again. Somebody took my ape from me. It makes you a huge target. Now, if it's your choice to flex it, that should be your
Yeah.
choice. But you don't have a choice on Ethereum. You have the choice
Yeah.
between owning something super culturally relevant and scarce, and then also putting the target on your back. That's not a choice. You have to do both. On
Yes.
secret, like, you get exposure to those types of assets, and it also means you can represent more types of real world cultural assets. That's what I think we talked about like last time with like Quentin Tarantino coming and doing secret NFTs.
Hmm.
You can now start onboarding real world creators who care about the sensitive stuff that they want to put in the NFT because it's so special to them or so special to a collector. You
Hmm.
wouldn't want it public to everybody by default. So you're definitely going to see a lot more of that on secret. And it's definitely a better model for the collector as much as it is for the creator.
For sure. And the immediate thing that I thought about when I first read about this spec around Secret NFTs when you first shared it with me is think about all the use cases as well. Like outside of just the owner of the NFT, the end consumer,
Hmm.
the developer, the creator of an NFT project now has just another tool to introduce new gamification methodologies and new cool and interesting ways that people can interact with an NFT, like slowly revealing metadata components that were hidden at mint and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's already been launched on mainnet. This is the
Yeah.
wonderful thing. Like every time I come and talk with you, like I get to say not just like, yeah, we wrote another white paper for it. Like, no, there was a collection launched called Mystic Skulls. It's a 1 of 10K collection. They start as skulls. They look just like completely normal. Some are rarer than others, like they'll be different colors, they'll be metal, or they'll have one eye or two. You
Mhm.
unwrap them one trade at a time, and suddenly you learn, oh my gosh, my totally normal skull actually has clown hair. Oh my gosh, my totally normal skull actually has a grill. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you can now add these additional layers is so cool also for the secondary market, because what happens when you sell a skull where you've already unwrapped some really unique traits, it should sell for more. But what happens if you sell a skull that hasn't been unwrapped at all? Like, is that suddenly going to be the rarest kind of skull just because
Mhm.
no one's ever exposed anything? So there's these really awesome use cases that are only possible on Secret that I think just as people gain more awareness of how it's already being used in the network, we'll see our community expand like 100x, which, as we know in the NFT space, is also a great way to kind of have the market capitalization of the cultural assets on your network expand at the same rate. So we just want to onboard as many creators and collectors as possible because that's how you get the most experimentation. That's how we get more skulls, more cool
Yeah.
stuff, man. That's all we care about, cool stuff.
Building cool stuff is the path to success always. And
Oh,
that being said, for somebody who, let's just say you've got somebody who's built an NFT project, or maybe they're just tinkering in the Ethereum space or in the Solana space, they want to come and dabble with secret NFTs. They want to learn this. Where
yeah.
can they go to figure this out? You know, can they even engage directly with the secret network community to kind of figure this out?
I think we have one of the most open and accessible communities in crypto, which is super ironic when you think about some of the
Yeah.
way that like people think about privacy networks. But again, every time we talk about being a privacy by default chain, it's about giving choice back to the
Yes.
collector, the consumer, the user, the creator. And that does mean that we have to do like all this incredible outreach, community support. So we have a huge and wonderful community that's extremely welcoming. And if you're an NFT creator or collector, you come into our community. It's either the secret network community at large who can onboard you. Maybe it's the community of one of our PFP projects. Maybe it's the community for our marketplace, Stashh. Maybe it's, the individual devs behind the network who are working with you on your own launch. They're all resources to you. And if you are a dev and you want to do something more complex on the network, we have a massive $100 million grant program. We have all of our developer documentation. We're working on some things that I can't talk about. But the idea is that we want to onboard, hundreds of developers to the network to build out projects, hundreds of artists. Everybody has a home on Secret. And we've already built out, a community of hundreds of thousands around the world who want to work with new creators. They're dying to collect something that they've never been able to see before.
Mhm.
And as much as we can give it to them, like I'm going to work my ass off to make sure that cool stuff never stops coming. So I will personally, anybody listening to this, I will personally onboard you, but not over Christmas.
Yes.
Hit me up in
Everyone
January. I will
deserves a
personally
break.
onboard you. Yes.
Everyone deserves a break. But that is an offer that you should definitely take advantage of if you're interested. Having the
Please.
legendary Tor Bair onboarding you directly is a serious serious thing. Now, you mentioned this in passing just a minute ago, but I want to go there next because I'm sure on the other side, the non-developer folks who are just as important, if not more important than the developers in some cases, you want to get involved and you want to buy a secret NFT. You want to see what it's all about. You want to interact with it. Stashh. What is Stashh? Could you explain that?
Yeah. Stashh with two H's, I always say, because
Yes.
we mash together Stashh and Shush.
There you go.
Is I know, right? It's the first secret NFT marketplace. So you can come as a user. You don't own any secret NFTs. You come, you're going to see hundreds of secret NFTs for sale. People who have put the stuff that they've minted previously on offer. And let's say you buy an anon. An anon is a really expensive way to get into the network. I think the floor price on an anon right now is something like $10,000. But
Mm.
there's way more accessible things like Redacted Club or the Mystic Skulls or Secret Punks Confidential Cats, any of these collections that have already launched. You come, you buy, it unlocks a back channel or a community. You learn about some of their unique properties. For example, in the redacted club metadata, you can put your Discord handle and it'll unlock special roles on the Telegram or on the Discord, but it won't reveal your Discord handle to everybody publicly. So they can't go look at the rabbit on the gallery and know that it's yours. Anons does something similar on Telegram. Mystic Skulls, like I said, you can buy a skull and play with unwrapping it yourself. But it all starts like if you miss a mint, come to Stashh. It's at stashh.io. You come, you buy. It's already on mainnet. These are all mainnet NFTs that you can get hands on with. And starting on, I think, around December 27th, I don't know when this is going up, but that's soon from when we're recording, permissionless minting. Anybody can mint on platform. Anybody can import collections. Wow. Right now, it's just whitelisted, and we've already seen like thousands of users coming through. Imagine what happens when anybody can just kind of mint their own. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen at that point when we really take the gloves off. And we're doing this over the holidays, right? Like we wanted a soft launch to make sure everything's stable, but come January, I promise you, we're going to go crazy with promotion. We would love to see as many experimenters come into the network as possible, whether they're an experienced dev or not. Just like if you want to own a piece of NFT history, like the first private by default NFTs, this is the perfect time. They've only been around for so long. Like who doesn't love being early?
Yeah, it's the greatest thing, being early to a space and getting to see the growth and the learning and the evolution in real time, because it happens very fast. Like metamorphosis happens in real time.
Yeah, and these are the earliest communities. Imagine being like one of the first like 1,000 Bored Apes, right? It's the same sort of thing. I think we're going to have equally successful, if not more successful, collections on Secret, because there is such cultural relevance to the utility that we're doing here, and like there's so much more possible. So I really think we're just at the beginning. And my cat's going to join. I think we're really just at the beginning of what's going to be possible with this stuff. And there's a million ways to get involved with the network. Like getting involved with the PFP community is an amazing way. Like that would be my number one recommendation for anybody listening. Buy a Secret NFT that unlocks one of these Secret Network focused PFP communities, and you probably just made 1,000 new friends.
Beautiful. Yeah, community is an amazing tool to have no matter what. And for someone who's thinking, okay, well, yeah, I'm sold. I want to try this. I want to at least go and take a look. Being in the Cosmos space, how do they go about doing this on Secret Network and using Stashh? Like what wallet do they need? What prerequisites do they have to achieve?
Very good and practical questions. I think you can browse Stashh even without connecting your wallet. Okay. You can even look at it on mobile, the Stashh.io website, and start getting a feel for what's on the marketplace. But if you actually want to interact with the network and buy things, you'll need Kepler wallet. That's the main multi-chain wallet of the Cosmos. So if you're listening and you haven't gotten a chance to try any Cosmos chain, get it. This gives you access to everything, Atom, Osmosis, whatever. Like you got to have it. And then you can connect your Kepler to Stashh. You'll authenticate with it. And now you've got your own Secret NFT account you can start experimenting with. If you want to set up multiple accounts, set up multiple accounts. That way you can have different secret libraries of NFTs that you own. You could reveal one collection in one wallet, keep it hidden in the other, whatever you want to do. You'll also need a little bit of secret because that's the gas of the network, which you can get on centralized exchanges, which you can get on Osmosis. You can bridge assets from Ethereum into secret and buy it on our dexes, or come to the Discord. There's usually somebody who can hook you up with your first gas, which we would love to do. And most of the NFTs on the platform are listed in secret. You can list it actually for secret, for ETH, for USDT, for a bunch of different coins, because any secret token you basically use on Stashh. Most of them are priced in secret though, so you're going to probably want, if there's something that looks cool to you, at least enough to buy the NFT. But yeah, start wherever you're kind of comfortable, and I would say at the very least start in one of our Discords. Stashh has a Discord, Secret Network has a Discord. We'll probably put all the links here so people can chase it down, but it's a great community, I promise you. Any hand holding you need, they're there to help.
Sounds amazing to me. I would definitely recommend anyone who hasn't dabbled in the Cosmos space at all yet, your first stop needs to be, after you get started, needs to be Secret Network. I maintain that still to this day. The other thing that I wanted to say is when I first read about this, outside of gamification and the interesting things you can do with NFTs that are art or that are in-game items or the normal use cases, another area that I'm very passionate about that I realize has large-scale implications and it has to be done not just right, but nearly perfectly to really work, but it's digital identity.
Yeah.
Secret NFTs to me seem like a bastion for maybe not everything, but a semi-functional platform for digital identity where you can keep attributes secret until you want to show them to someone else.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because I 100% agree. NFT, the reason we're calling these secret NFTs isn't because we started with the idea that like we need non-fungible tokens on secret, otherwise who's going to use it? It was that you can launch any kind of smart contract on secret. It's a fully programmable platform. It's just that NFTs seem to have immense traction right now because of what they've already unlocked. If I saw a tweet that like I think just yesterday showing the Google trends, and for the first time, searches for NFTs flipped crypto and flipped Bitcoin. More people searching for NFTs. Why is that? You know, you and I know the answer, which is like there's this crazy cultural value to establishing online ownership, but strongly linked to ownership is digital identity. So you would imagine that the platform that's best positioned to be constructed for digital ownership would also be the platform best constructed to manage digital identity. And identity is something that is undeniably linked with privacy, period. Like identity is something that is constructed, like not to get too like philosophical, but identity can be constructed from your membership in a number of different communities. It's something that's intersectional. That's what makes it so complicated in a digital universe. And people will project pieces of their identity online that they won't project in the real world, but they'll also project pieces of their identity in the real world that they won't project online, maybe because of privacy concerns, or maybe just because it's not possible. So constructing digital identity, privacy is going to have to be an essential component because we are complex people and our histories are complex. We want that to feed into our online identity. We want that to feed into our reputation, but we don't want to have to expose everything about our identity to everybody by default, because then all of the choice is already gone from the first moment. So Secret is a great platform for identity solutions, if only because we've introduced this optionality. And NFTs can be part of the technological primitive that powers an identity solution on Secret, but it doesn't have to technically be like an NFT. If people are always going to think about NFTs for art, just think of it as a secret app, another kind of application on the network with privacy protections. But these apps are now interoperable with our NFT ecosystem. So you're using your privacy preserved identity to gain reputation in an NFT universe, where maybe it qualifies you for an under collateralized loan that you take to buy an NFT that represents a real world asset on chain. None of this compromising anything about your identity or your financial history, but all provably secure because of the features of the network. I mean, it sounds like that's what you want. It sounds like that's where we're going, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about this the last time, and even when we've spoken like off camera, it's like privacy is so often given this, you know, bad rap or negative connotation. It's like privacy is only relevant to people who have something to hide, or only relevant to people who are up to no good. But in fact, it's been an important facet of human society for eternity, forever. And it's not a it's not
why
a negative
houses have
thing.
doors.
Yeah, exactly. Your house has doors and blinds and windows for a reason, right? You know, it's because everyone should have the ability to selectively share things when and if they deem it necessary to do so. So
it's the foundation for all commerce and human interaction, is the
yes,
right to choose what is shared with whom. I agree. That doesn't fit on a hat.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That
so
paragraph would not look
comes out a
great.
little different. I know if you
Yeah,
turned it around and then it's a
yeah.
paragraph on the back, but I hear you, man. And it is complex. My keynote at Cosmoverse, which was an incredible time in Lisbon. So with all the builders in the Cosmos community, that's what my keynote was about, was basically the relevance of privacy to the metaverse, and why if we're not careful, it's just going to be Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, not yours and mine.
Yeah.
And it has to do with everything you just said, giving consent and choice back to users. And it's not about having nothing to hide. It's about having something worth protecting.
Exactly. It is profoundly positively connotated and beneficial for everyone rather than negatively connotated. I completely agree. And while I could not be there in person, I heard nothing but awesome stuff about the entire event and
It was so fun.
your speech. So yes,
Oh, that's
thank you
sweet.
for doing that.
It was an incredible event. It was organized by incredible people. I can't wait for the next one.
Amazing, amazing. So here's the last place that I wanted to talk about, and this is maybe just an overarching kind of call for you to share or tease or barely say and keep secret what's coming next. But for Secret Network, come like 2022, we're talking Q1, Q2, overarching goals. Even if you can't give specifics, what do you think?
I can give specifics, but I can
Okay,
also tease. I like to
a
do
little
both.
of both.
Our goal is to have 100 projects building on the network in H1. Our goal is to have 5 to 10 applications that have 10,000 plus users active in H1. So H1 being Q1 and Q2.
Hmm.
To get there, we're going to onboard, dozens of artists with unique use cases like Tarantino. We're going to launch games that have unique economic models on the network. This is just talking about the NFT side. There's also the DeFi side where there's
Hmm.
incredible experimentation going on that's only made possible by the privacy properties of the network. We have Shade launching a privacy preserving stablecoin with a burn model based on the Terra Luna model, with economics based on like the own economics that have been so popular on so many chains. So there's
Hmm.
crazy experimentation on every side of our ecosystem. There's Ultramail launching a Proton Mail competitor that's decentralized. They're already on mainnet. They raised seed money. So all of this is laying the foundation for we did Supernova, right? We talked about Supernova. Supernova was Q4 2021. It's over. What's
Hmm.
next is what's crazy, and I can't tell you just yet what we're calling it or how we're positioning it, but it's the next phase of network growth, and everything is taking the foundation that was Supernova and the resulting explosion to say this is what happens next. This is the explosion of developers and artists and collectors that are coming to our network, the brands, the investors, global availability with exchanges. Like these are all priorities because that's the only way you get to 1 million users, 10 million users, 100 million users is to solve all these problems at once. And we are very committed as an ecosystem. This isn't just me making a personal promise. It's 100,000 secret agents kind of making this promise. We want this to be the reality because we cannot fathom living in a Web3 world without privacy. And every other chain is building it the other way. We need to have at least one chain competitive, like as a top 10 project, top 20 project, building a private by default ecosystem that works better for Web3 users. Otherwise, we've kind of lost the biggest battle of all against the internet that we're coming from in trying to build the one where we're trying to go to.
Hmm.
So I expect the most explosive 2 quarters to date in secret history, which sounds like a big promise given how this year went, but
Hmm.
I'm so hyped about it. The product market fit is definitely here on the metaverse side. The
Hmm.
responses we've seen from creators has been amazing and collectors as well. So stay tuned. We'll just have to do this again every month until I run out of alpha.
I'm always down for that. And the renaissance of Cosmos, and a project that
Oh
I've talked
God, yeah.
about for ages. This is what makes all of the projects in that space, like in the Cosmos ecosystem, so
Oh yeah.
powerful because they are portable and available to pretty much anyone, and it's not siloed and stuck in some alternate universe you can't get to.
I know it's incredible. I'm looking at the list on CoinGecko right now just because like I felt like Cosmos is a foundation. I see Terra, I see crypto.com, I see Terra USD itself, I
Mm-hmm.
see Cosmos itself. Right? I expect we're going to come back here next time, this like in 2022, this time, right at the end of the year, wrapping up. I fully expect to see like 10 Cosmos projects in the top 20. Maybe that's ambitious. Maybe we'll say 10 Cosmos projects in the top 30, 40, but this is an ecosystem that because it's so hyper connected to itself, bridged everywhere, so committed to this idea of scaling together, it has to win. There's no other option. These other EVM ecosystems have become so internally competitive that it's a zero
Mm-hmm.
sum game. And the way I see the Cosmos, and I include Terra in this when I say it, like I see this as a massive big pie game for the entire Cosmos ecosystem that we're all solving together. And it's growth that we're all going to achieve together because you can build such interesting and composable use cases across the entire Cosmos ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get this anywhere else, and you should just go ahead and get Kepler Wallet right now and see for yourself what's happening because we couldn't be more hyped about it. We love growing with the broader Cosmos community, and it's an incredible opportunity.
Incredible indeed. Really excited. I'm really thankful and grateful that I've gotten a chance to be a part of the Cosmos journey and the Secret Network journey along the way through content and just staying interested and learning about it. And Tor, very appreciative and grateful of you spending time talking about this stuff and sharing it with my audience.
It's an absolute pleasure, man. If anybody listening who wants to learn more, just jump in the discords. We're here to talk about this all the time. We're nerds. So if you're even a little bit of a nerd, an NFT nerd, a blockchain nerd, a Cosmos nerd, we're here to nerd out with you for sure.
Right on. Embrace the nerd. Join the family. Let's
Yes.
all hang out. Awesome. So thank you so much, Tor. Thank you to everyone who's watching and or listening to this episode. And of course, I wish you and your family would have a fantastic week ahead. And until next time, cheers.